In 376, the Roman Empire was in great shape, and the western half of the empire was arguably stronger than the eastern half of the empire. 100 years later, the Western Roman Empire ceased to exist. So the question is, did that have to happen? Was the Western Roman Empire doomed? I don't believe the Western Roman Empire was doomed. And in fact, in most timelines, the Western Roman Empire survives well into the Middle Ages. In order to survive, the Western Roman Empire needs to hold on to its core territories through the 5th century. The 5th century was a particularly dangerous time for the Western Roman Empire because the arrival of the Huns triggered a series of migrations that would disrupt Western Europe. There were not migrations in Western Europe on a similar scale before or after the 5th century. The two core regions that the Western Roman Empire needs to hold on to are Italy and Africa. It needs to hold on to Italy because it is the heart of the empire. It is the most prosperous part of the empire. It needed to hold on to Africa because it was a major generator of tax revenue and food, while also being easy to defend. If it could hold on to these two key regions, then the Western Roman Empire could have the money and the manpower it needed to continue being the dominant power in Western Europe. Money was important to maintain a professional army and to bribe barbarian tribes so you can play them off one against the other. This means that the Western Roman Empire could lose a lot of territory. It could lose Hispania, it could lose Gaul, it could use Britannia. Those were all net benefits to the empire while the border was at the Rhine. But as soon as barbarian tribes began to migrate into the Western Roman Empire, the cost-benefit analysis of defending all those territories changed. So, how do we keep these core territories in the hands of the Western Roman Empire? The easiest way is for the Huns not to show up at the end of the 4th century. Now, this may sound kind of cheesy, but we have not found any real reason why the Huns even migrated into Europe in the first place. Like, there's no good reason for them to be there. So just have some Hunnic leaders make different decisions so that they don't arrive in Europe, and then barbarian tribes don't run away from them into the borders of the Western Roman Empire. Now, assuming the Huns do arrive into Europe, the next best thing to do is to prevent the crossing of the Rhine in 406. The 406 migration, where the Rhine was breached by multiple barbarian tribes, was the most damaging to the Western Roman Empire. This can be done by having the Rhine defenses hold, or by having Rome's barbarian allies destroy these particular tribes as they tried to force their way into the empire. Assuming that happens, the next easiest thing to do is to prevent the Vandals from crossing into Africa. If you look at the journey the Vandals took, it is crazy. They started in Germany, they ended up in the southern tip of Spain, and then they did what no other barbarian tribes did, which was build a navy. Despite being reasonably secure in southern Hispania, they went to the trouble of ferrying tens of thousands of people over the Straits of Gibraltar into North Africa and opportunistically seized it from the Western Roman Empire. I mean, it's pretty easy to see how that could be avoided. I think even in a timeline where the Western Roman Empire holds on to just Italy and just North Africa, they're able to thrive well into the Middle Ages. The thing to keep in mind about the barbarian successor states is that they were massively outnumbered by the native population. So it's pretty easy to see how a surviving Western Roman Empire with a strong military could pick them off one by one. So let's talk about just a few of the implications from this. First of all, a surviving Western Roman Empire probably butterflies away the Arab conquests. That was probably the single most important event in world history over the last 2,000 years, so that had its major implications throughout the world. For one, the Middle East probably stays divided between Christianity and Zoroastrianism. North Africa probably remains Christian, and most of Africa in general probably becomes Christian over time. The Christian church is probably going to stay united, with the Pope in Rome having less power. With a surviving Western Roman Empire and no Arab conquest, you're not going to see a shift in economic power from Southern Europe to Northern Europe. You're also going to have different migration patterns from the Slavic peoples. Latin and Greek are going to remain the dominant languages in Europe and the Middle East. I also think that long term, Europe is going to be less prosperous and less technologically developed. Those are just a few of my initial thoughts. We will definitely make another video in the future exploring this topic in more detail. So in short, I do not believe the Western Roman Empire was doomed. And in fact, I think it is kind of a fluke that it fell in the first place. I would love to hear your thoughts though. Please post in the comments, let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, and what you think I might have missed. In addition, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please click the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.